Chosen one, something extraordinary is happening, and the silence around you is deafening. You may have felt it already, that strange hush after the chaos, the sudden absence of voices that once seemed endless, the whispers, the accusations, the plotting that echoed against you, all the mockery and manipulation. It's gone. Not because it faded away naturally, not because the world suddenly grew kind, but because forces far greater than human understanding have intervened. What once seemed overwhelming, the relentless targeting, the betrayal, the subtle undermining of your reputation, has not gone unnoticed. Heaven keeps records, divine justice is in motion, and even the legal realm has started to respond. Every secret word, every hidden agenda, every calculated move made against you has been observed, noted, and accounted for. The enemies who once thrived in shadow are now being confronted by light, and that light begins within you, in the unwavering truth of who you are and whose you are. Perhaps you've spent nights wondering if anyone truly sees the pain you endured, the slander you faced, or the isolation you felt. Perhaps you doubted if justice could ever arrive in your favor, or if vindication was a dream too distant to hold. This message is for you, chosen one, because what the enemy intended for harm is already being reversed. The very people who tried to manipulate your life, tarnish your name, or control your future are now powerless. Their voices, once loud and relentless, have been silenced legally, socially, and spiritually. The ones who orchestrated schemes against you are forced to face consequences they never anticipated. While they once thought they had the upper hand, now every move they made against you has become evidence against themselves. The tables have turned, and the spotlight is on them. You are no longer a target, you are a witness, a participant in a divine process that elevates truth and exposes deceit. This moment is not merely about revenge or retaliation, it is about spiritual vindication and restoration. Psalm 23:5 reminds us, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." That table is being set for you now. Your cup, once drained by trials and betrayal, is overflowing. The destruction that others intended for you is being transformed into your promotion, your testimony, and your freedom. What once seemed like chaos in your life is revealing itself as a meticulously orchestrated process of divine protection. Every false word spoken against you, every act of betrayal, every attempt to isolate or discredit you has been cataloged and will now serve your elevation. The silence that surrounds you is not emptiness. It is the sound of unseen forces working in your favor. The quiet, before a revelation of truth and power that will shake the very foundations of what was meant to harm you. Even now, you are invited to engage in this reality. Type Amen in the comments, acknowledging that God is fighting for you even when the world remains unaware. Let that simple declaration be a recognition that you are not alone, that the protection over your life is real, and that the authority you carry cannot be touched by lies or human schemes. This is the beginning of understanding that the very energy once used to attack you is now returning sevenfold, not merely more, but better. This is your season of vindication, your moment to see the unseen, and your invitation to rise fully into the destiny that has always been yours. The unraveling of the enemy is a phenomenon that often happens quietly at first, almost imperceptibly, before it becomes undeniably clear. Those who once appeared powerful, orchestrating plots to manipulate, control, and destroy your destiny, suddenly find themselves exposed, isolated, and powerless. The very schemes they meticulously crafted to discredit you, to obscure your path, or to weaken your influence, have now turned against them. Their plans, once shrouded in secrecy and executed with precision, are unraveling in ways they never anticipated. The crowd that once rallied behind them, fueling their confidence, begins to scatter, leaving the instigators standing alone in the wake of consequences they cannot escape. What seemed like momentum is transformed into collapse, and what was once a web of manipulation becomes evidence of their own downfall. The one who engineered chaos, the leader who thought they could orchestrate your life, now sits isolated. Their supporters, once emboldened by group validation, step back one by one, choosing self-preservation over loyalty. And in that quiet abandonment, the truth emerges. The enemy was never as powerful as they seemed, and their strength was borrowed from the fear and attention of others. The very momentum they depended upon dissipates under the light of accountability. Every plot they conceived, every message sent in secrecy, every whisper behind your back has become a record of their intent. What they hoped would harm you has instead revealed the depth of their own character or lack thereof. Through this unraveling, your own life stands as a testament to divine protection and unwavering authenticity. You did not retaliate, you did not fabricate a defense, and you did not stoop to the tactics of those seeking your demise. Instead, you remained still, as Exodus 14:14 reminds us. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Your stillness was not inaction. It was alignment with a higher power, a recognition that the battles beyond human comprehension are best fought through divine intervention. As their schemes implode, your integrity shines in contrast. Where they sought destruction, you preserved truth. Where they relied on deception, you relied on authenticity. And where they expected chaos, you were the embodiment of calm and steadfastness. This unraveling also serves as a mirror, reflecting the inner turmoil and weaknesses of those who tried to harm you. Their fear, pride, and envy have been exposed, and every false narrative they created now highlights the distinction between their character and yours. While they are entangled in consequences, you are free to rise. Your endurance, your patience, and your refusal to compromise your values set you apart in ways that cannot be replicated or manipulated. Every act meant to diminish you instead becomes a stepping stone for your elevation. Their attempts to harm reveal their own reflection, while your steadfastness and calm endurance illuminate your divine alignment. In essence, the enemy's unraveling is not just a story of legal or social consequences, it is a spiritual demonstration of protection, justice, and vindication. As the plots backfire and the crowd abandons them, you are left standing, elevated, and unshakable. The silence that follows their collapse is not empty. It is filled with affirmation of your calling, validation of your patience, and confirmation that your journey is divinely orchestrated. Their fall underscores your rise, their exposure magnifies your integrity, and their defeat reveals the unseen hand that has always been guarding you. The unraveling of false narratives is never just a matter of circumstance. It is a spiritual reckoning that reaches far beyond the surface. What was hidden in shadows, whispered behind closed doors, or cloaked in envy and manipulation is now being brought into the light. The resistance you faced was never truly about you. It was about what your integrity, humility, and divine alignment exposed in others. Your calm, steadfast presence, your unwavering commitment to truth, and your refusal to compromise your values became a mirror, reflecting their own insecurities and envy. Those who sought to manipulate, control, or discredit you could not endure the reflection of their own shortcomings, and in trying to attack you, they revealed themselves. This exposure is not limited to social or legal consequences. It unfolds in the spiritual realm as well. Every act of deception, every attempt to weaponize prayer, every manipulation of sacred spaces or faith for selfish gain is now visible. Places once considered safe or holy spaces meant for worship, guidance, or community were twisted into arenas of personal ambition and power. Yet, even in their attempts to exploit what is sacred, they inadvertently provided proof of their own unworthiness and the purity of your calling. The very tools they sought to use against you now testify to your authenticity and alignment with a higher purpose. As the truth emerges, the community that once enabled, cheered, or remained silent begins to withdraw from the deception. Supporters, collaborators, and bystanders who were caught in the illusion of loyalty start to recognize the reality of manipulation and distance themselves. The scaffolding that upheld false narratives is collapsing, leaving those who propagated lies exposed and vulnerable. In contrast, your steadfastness, humility, and faith stand firm, unshaken by gossip, envy, or orchestrated schemes. Their withdrawal is not a loss. It is a confirmation of the discernment and spiritual clarity that have always guided your path. This simultaneous unraveling of public perception and spiritual manipulation clears the way for your authentic rise. As falsehoods fall away, the space once crowded with envy, deceit, and distortion is now open for vindication and elevation. The disruption of these attacks reveals a deeper truth. Divine protection is not passive, and spiritual justice often precedes, accompanies, or even surpasses legal or social outcomes. While others scramble to explain, excuse, or conceal their actions, you remain aligned with your calling, fully aware that the consequences they face are part of a higher order of accountability. The exposure of falsehood does more than punish. It validates your endurance, highlights your integrity, and illuminates the unseen hand that has been guiding you. Every plot designed to harm you, every misrepresentation, and every act of manipulation now serves as a testimony to your unwavering alignment with the divine. This reckoning clears the path for your authentic rise, ensuring that your victory is not only evident to the world, but also rooted in spiritual authority. Ultimately, what the enemy sought to conceal is now revealed. What they attempted to weaponize is now a witness to your integrity, and the community that once tolerated deception now stands at the edge of awe and recognition. Your vindication is not merely reactionary, it is the natural outcome of alignment, faith, and steadfastness. The exposure of falsehood clears the path for your authentic rise and vindication, signaling that the stage is now set for your elevation, unimpeded by those who sought to overshadow your light. What was intended to harm you now becomes the very stage for your divine promotion and elevation. Every attack, every false accusation, and every attempt to destabilize your life has been transformed into a building block for your testimony. The very people and systems that once sought to undermine your credibility are now witnessing, whether consciously or unconsciously, the unfolding of a plan far greater than they could have imagined. Courts, legal systems, and spiritual authority converge in alignment, ensuring that what was stolen, manipulated, or suppressed is not only returned, but returned, refined, and multiplied. Psalm 91:4 reminds us, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart." What they intended for your destruction becomes the proof of divine protection, evidence that you were never alone, never exposed, and never forgotten. Every lie spoken about you, every whisper intended to erode your reputation, now serves as a witness to your endurance and integrity. What was designed as a weapon becomes the foundation of your authority. Your calm in the face of chaos, your refusal to retaliate, and your commitment to authenticity turn pain into proof, loss into leverage, and trials into triumph. Psalm 23:5 echoes the reality of your elevation. "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. My cup overflows." The abundance now flowing into your life is not just a return, it is a return that is better, cleaner, and more potent than what was taken. Every injustice becomes an opportunity for greater glory. Loss and pain, once heavy burdens, are now refined into blessings. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt has been recorded and transformed into an inheritance of strength, wisdom, and resilience. The stage is no longer one of victimhood, but of authority. You inherit influence over situations, circumstances, and people, not as a means of control, but as a testimony of alignment with God's divine purpose. What the enemy thought would bury you has now prepared the ground for your elevation. Their attempts to obscure your light instead highlight it, and the same platforms they used to challenge or intimidate you now showcase your resilience, clarity, and leadership. This divine elevation extends beyond material or legal restoration. It reaches into the spiritual and emotional realms. Your steps now carry weight. Your words influence outcomes. Your testimony inspires others to walk in integrity, to trust divine timing, and to see that alignment with God always surpasses human scheming. The stage they sought to dismantle is now the platform from which your authority radiates. Every blessing in your hands, every door opening before you, every honor received is a living rebuke to the lies once leveled against you. Ultimately, what the enemy intended to destroy becomes the stage for your divine purpose. Your elevation is not arbitrary or contingent upon human approval. It is ordained, sealed, and executed by a higher authority. As you step forward into this season of overflow, your story testifies that nothing wasted, nothing lost, and nothing stolen can remain hidden from divine alignment. The trials you endured are no longer chains but catalysts. The opposition is no longer a threat, but a witness. What they intended for harm has become the platform for your glory, and in this elevation, every facet of your life, spiritual, emotional, material, and relational, shines with the proof of divine favor. Now that divine vindication has been established, and the enemy's schemes have unraveled, it is time to embrace the profound freedom that comes from living beyond false narratives. What was once imposed upon you, the whispers, the accusations, the attempts to define your identity, no longer holds power. This is a season to step fully into discernment, to recognize that not every relationship or bridge is meant to be rebuilt. Some connections were severed not out of malice, but through divine strategy designed to protect your calling and preserve your integrity. The silence, the distance, and the separation you experienced were never signs of abandonment. They were indicators of preparation, ensuring that your next steps are taken in spaces aligned with purpose and truth. Focus your energy where it matters. Surround yourself with individuals who respect your authenticity and celebrate your alignment, not those seeking to borrow influence from your light. Invest in spaces that honor your values and support your mission. Let go of relationships that thrived on manipulation, jealousy, or control. You are no longer required to validate or repair what was never intended to grow alongside your destiny. In doing so, you release unnecessary spiritual weight and reclaim the emotional and mental bandwidth that was once siphoned away by deceit and false allegiance. Every lesson of discernment now serves as a shield, protecting you from recurring cycles of interference and distraction. Elevation, as you now experience, is spiritual and intrinsic, not dependent upon public approval or social acknowledgement. The applause of the crowd is fleeting, but the validation of divine alignment is eternal. What God ordains for your life cannot be contested or diminished by human perception. The very people who attempted to define your path now serve as living proof of why your focus must remain on purpose rather than popularity. Their silence, their distancing, and their inability to intervene are markers that your rise is not a matter of ego or vengeance. It is a matter of divine timing and protection. This season calls for intentionality. Speak life into your own narrative, not to prove anything to detractors, but to honor the calling that has carried you through trials. Reclaim your dreams that were set aside in moments of pressure. Step into your creative, relational, and spiritual potential without hesitation. Allow joy, confidence, and peace to flourish in spaces that resonate with your authentic self. Your rise is not a response to opposition. It is a reflection of God's faithfulness and the cultivation of your character through adversity. Ultimately, your journey through trials and vindication reveals a deeper truth. Separation was never punishment, and elevation is never contingent on human validation. The bridges that remain should be crossed with wisdom, while those that are broken should serve as reminders that divine strategy often requires selective connection. Your rise is rooted in purpose and protection, not retaliation. Every step you take from this point forward is infused with authority, clarity, and grace. And every move is guided by the principle that freedom from false narratives is the truest path to fulfillment, influence, and lasting impact. Having emerged from a season of trials, vindication, and divine promotion, it is now time to reclaim the dreams, goals, and creative visions that may have been set aside during the chaos. The moments when you paused, shelved ambitions, or doubted your own potential were never the end of your story. They were the preparation for a season of purpose-driven action. Now, the path before you is clear, illuminated by the lessons of endurance, integrity, and divine alignment. This is the moment to step boldly into your calling, to recover the energy and focus that once felt stolen, and to transform what was delayed into an unstoppable forward momentum. Begin by revisiting those dreams that were paused. Perhaps there were creative projects left unfinished, goals postponed out of necessity, or ambitions that felt impossible to pursue while navigating betrayal and opposition. Each of these dreams carries a sacred imprint of your unique purpose. Dust them off, breathe life into them again, and give yourself permission to start anew. Reclaiming your dreams is not an act of defiance. It is an acknowledgement that what God planted in your heart cannot be erased by circumstance, manipulation, or the temporary victories of others. Every plan deferred has been refined in the fire of your trials, making it stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the person you have become. Equally important is investing in relationships and environments that honor your calling. The connections you nurture now should reflect authenticity, mutual respect, and shared vision. Seek those who encourage growth, celebrate integrity, and inspire action, rather than those who echo past toxicity or envy. Your spaces, both physical and spiritual, must be sanctuaries for creativity, joy, and alignment, not arenas where your energy is drained or diverted. By surrounding yourself with supportive and purposeful influence, you create fertile ground for your dreams to take root and flourish. Trust in divine timing as you move forward. The experiences of opposition, betrayal, and delayed breakthroughs were never random. They were part of a carefully orchestrated plan that prepared you to walk in alignment with destiny. Each step you take from this point forward should be guided by discernment, faith, and clarity. Boldness does not mean rushing recklessly, but moving confidently in the direction that aligns with divine purpose. Your testimony, shaped by endurance, authenticity, and patience, becomes a living proof of divine justice, authority, and restoration. As you step into this season, allow joy, creativity, and vision to flow freely once again. Celebrate the victories, no matter how small, and acknowledge the progress that has brought you here. Your life, your actions, and your reclaimed dreams will serve as a testimony to others that even in the face of opposition, divine intervention transforms what was meant for harm into a platform for purpose. Every decision to pursue your calling, every moment invested in aligned relationships, and every creative endeavor resurrected becomes part of the evidence that God's justice and guidance are real. Your rise is no longer reactive. It is intentional, purposeful, and unstoppable. You are moving from survival into stewardship. Stewardship of your gifts, your dreams, and your divine assignment. And in this intentional forward motion, your story radiates hope, authority, and inspiration for all who witness it. Your testimony becomes living proof that alignment with God's purpose is the ultimate victory, transforming pain into legacy, opposition into opportunity, and silence into resounding impact. As you arrive at this sacred moment, it is time to pause, breathe deeply, and step into a guided prayer that seals the victory over every injustice, every betrayal, and every attempt to undermine your calling. This is more than words spoken aloud. It is an alignment of your heart, mind, and spirit with the divine orchestration that has already taken place on your behalf. The struggles, the silences, and the trials you endured were not wasted. They were preparation for this moment of spiritual authority, restoration, and empowerment. Let this prayer anchor you in the truth that God has been your defender all along, and that every scheme, every false accusation, and every obstacle has been recorded, measured, and transformed into a foundation for your elevation. Begin by acknowledging the ways in which you were targeted, misunderstood, or harmed. Release the weight of betrayal and injustice into the hands of the one who sees all and whose judgment is perfect. Every false word spoken against you, every scheme devised in secret, and every act intended to diminish your value is now being brought to light and balanced by divine justice. Romans 12:19 reminds us, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay," says the Lord. Let this truth settle deeply into your spirit. You are no longer responsible for retaliation or proving yourself. Your only task is to stand firm, to breathe in the peace that comes from knowing God is already working on your behalf. As you release these burdens, lift up prayers for restoration of relationships, opportunities, and dreams that may have been delayed or derailed. Invoke God's protection over every area of your life that was exposed to harm. Picture a hedge of divine security surrounding your mind, body, and spirit. Visualize your path being cleared, your energy being restored, and your creativity and purpose flowing freely once again. Joel 2:25 promises restoration. I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Declare that your dreams, your time, your confidence, and your joy are not only restored, but refined, elevated, and made ready for your divine assignment. Empower yourself through affirmation. Speak aloud the truths that anchor your faith. You are chosen, protected, and fully aligned with God's plan. You are not defined by the attempts of others to destroy you, nor by the lies that were whispered in shadows. You are defined by the God who covers you, lifts you, and places opportunities and blessings into your hands. Feel the weight of authority settle in your spirit, the same authority that turns opposition into testimony, suffering into legacy, and silence into resounding praise. Finally, anchor yourself in gratitude and clarity. Thank God for protection even when it was unseen, for guidance through confusion, and for the transformation that has positioned you for impact. Let peace wash over you, releasing fear, doubt, and lingering resentment. Recognize that this moment is a divine appointment, a sacred space where your victory, your authority, and your purpose intersect. By praying with intention and faith, you align your heart with the ongoing work God is performing in your life. Through this guided prayer, your spirit is fortified, your focus renewed, and your calling illuminated. You are no longer navigating the aftermath of attacks, you are stepping fully into the reality of your protection, your promotion, and your purpose. This is the season where your testimony becomes a beacon, your life a witness, and your heart a sanctuary anchored in divine truth. Prayer has not only spoken victory over your circumstances, but has cemented your alignment with the destiny God has ordained. As we arrive at this final moment, take a deep breath and let the fullness of your journey resonate within you. This is not merely an ending, it is the threshold of a new season, a season where divine vindication meets your courage, your endurance, and your unwavering faith. The silence that once seemed heavy now echoes with the confirmation of your victory. Those who sought to undermine you, to obscure your light, and to control your destiny have been revealed for what they truly are, and you have emerged unshaken, unbothered, and elevated. The truth is undeniable. You were never alone, and you were never unprotected. Every step, every tear, and every act of integrity has positioned you to rise with authority and clarity. Take a moment to reflect on the journey. From the shadows of betrayal, the whispers of deception, and the heavy weight of false narratives, you have been carried by a force greater than any opposition. Your rise is not accidental, it is divinely orchestrated. What the enemy intended for harm has become the platform for your glory, your testimony, and your legacy. Every obstacle transformed into opportunity, every loss refined into blessing, every attack recorded and turned into evidence of your endurance and authenticity. Recognize this moment as a testament to God's sovereignty and to the alignment that comes when you remain steadfast, humble, and true to your calling. Now, as you step fully into this season of restoration and authority, I invite you to engage in a tangible declaration of faith. Take action in your spirit and in your community. Type, "I'm covered and called," in the comments as a declaration that you acknowledge the divine protection and promotion over your life. Share this message, subscribe, and continue to participate in a faith-filled community that uplifts, supports, and celebrates those walking in purpose. This is not only an invitation to witness your own alignment, but to encourage others who are navigating the storms of false accusations, betrayal, or misunderstanding. Your testimony, your courage, and your alignment are a guiding light for those still finding their way through adversity. As you affirm your calling, remember that being chosen is not merely a title. It is a lifestyle of divine protection, strategic positioning, and authority. It is a recognition that your steps are guided, your voice is heard, and your life carries weight in both the spiritual and natural realms. Your rise is measured not by applause but by alignment, not by public approval but by divine ordination. Each decision, each pursuit, each word spoken from this point forward carries the authority of one who is fully seen, fully known, and fully covered by God. Finally, as you close this moment with intention, carry this truth in your heart. Walk in truth, stand in light, and never forget that you were always chosen. Let your life reflect this reality in every space you enter, every relationship you cultivate, and every goal you pursue. Your path has been secured, your victory has been confirmed, and your legacy is ready to unfold. Step forward boldly, with gratitude, confidence, and the unwavering knowledge that you are covered, called, and elevated for a purpose far greater than any challenge you have faced. This is your season. This is your authority. This is your divine alignment made manifest.